You don't get to walk away from this. Now that single line there sets the tone for HAVOC. Now this is a film where consequences are constantly promised but only occasionally delivered. Now Gareth Evans returns to his comfort zone of pulverising action, crafting a movie that looks vicious, sounds brutal and moves like a runaway freight train, even when it doesn't always know where it's going. Now HAVOC is Evans indulging in excess, slow motion gunfire, bone crunching hand to hand combat and chaos, staged with the influence of action masters like John Woo and Johnny To. But to reach that apathetic 5-star action spectacle, a price is paid, a technical overload and a narrative stretched thin beneath the weight of its own violence. Now at its core, this is a bruised, blood-soaked crime thriller anchored again by the great Tom Hardy, who once again oozes commitment. So he plays Walker, a battered detective, navigating a city rotting from the inside out. Now Hardy sells the pain, the guilt and the exhaustion, even when the film asks us to believe that he can survive a small army without so much as a limp. Now when violence becomes the only language left, HAVOC speaks it fluently. HAVOC is Gareth Evans doing exactly what Gareth Evans does best, unleashing beautifully choreographed mayhem. The result is a film that looks elite, sounds elite, but emotionally lands somewhere in the middle. At its core, this is a bruised, blood-soaked crime thriller that wants to sit at the same table as John Woo and Johnny To. And visually it gets close. Slow motion gunfire, bodies crashing through rooms, bullets dancing like choreography. It's all here. But to reach that 5-star action nirvana, Evans overpays in excess. Too many bullets, too many bodies, too little consequence. Now the setting and the cinematography is great. You see the collapsing city after a drug deal spirals violently out of control. And here we have Walker hunted by gangsters, corrupt politicians and his own colleagues. Now Walker is forced into a desperate mission to retrieve a powerful man's estranged son. A journey that exposes layers of rot, betrayal and his own unresolved past. As the film progresses, every step deeper pulls him closer to redemption or complete annihilation. Now let's be frank, Tom Hardy is never the problem. He brings his usual magnetic grime, a growling dialogue, haunted eyes and a physicality that sells every punch. Even when the script stretches believability, and it really does, Hardy convinces you Walker has survived hell before, even if surviving this much gunfire without scratch is pure fantasy. Scenes in this film are solid to excellent. Evans still knows how to stage chaos with clarity, and when the camera locks in, the film briefly becomes electric. See, the one-on-one combat moments shine far brighter than the endless shootouts, and yes, the final villain, properly menacing. And like I say, HAVOC by name, HAVOC by nature. At times it's not tension, it's just noise. Walker mows down 500 henchmen, and after a while that brutality, it loses weight. And when everything is extreme, nothing feels impactful. You got the plot, which is serviceable but familiar. You got dirty cops, drug money, political rot, and all the things we've seen done better elsewhere. There's also a tonal imbalance with the film, a film that wants gritty realism, but the cartoonish body count constantly undercuts it. You know that Gareth Evans reportedly choreographs the action scenes before finalising the script, explains why the combat feels meticulous while the story sometimes feels like connective tissue between fights. Love about this as well is Tom Hardy performed a large portion of the close quarters combat himself, leaning into Evans' preference for long takes and physical authenticity, even if the damage Walker takes never quite sticks. Now overall, HAVOC is stylish, savage, but strangely hollow. Fans of the Raid will feel satisfied. Casual viewers may feel overwhelmed. It's not bad, it's just not transcendent enough. The action will dazzle you, the violence will shock you, but the soul flickers rather than burns. In final summary, HAVOC doesn't lack impact, it lacks restraint. And right before I give it a mark, here's the truth it leaves behind. In the end, HAVOC proves that chaos alone is not character. So my final smiles and cries rating for this one is 5 out of 10. Solid Hardy, memorable moments, but average, loud and ultimately disposable.